Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day. I'm trading JDST this morning. I'm just going to start sharing my screen and you guys can see kind of where I'm at. So JDST, just like I made in yesterday's video, I'm not too sure if all those were able to tune in live for that video just because of how late it was. So it was 5 hours ago, so around midnight, almost 1 o'clock. There's a huge sell-off on forward/GC. I talked about my position that I had on JDST, which is the inverse ETF. Here's the pullback. This is pretty much what I've been looking at. I'm up a little bit over $1,100 on the day, and I did not play this out perfectly. I originally locked in profits right as the market opened. Here we go. We have a nice little push coming up. Let's do this. Let's see. Kind of want to see where everyone's at. My goodness, I don't even have the little live chat. Sorry about that, team. Alright. Here we go. Catching a support. Is it? Let's check it out. Alright. Trying to be patient for that pullback confirmation on JDST. Looks like we're getting a nice little bounce. I'm going to take another position. So sold off, started showing signs of recovery. One thing that I've been doing is just buying and selling all morning, so you guys can see the different orders right here that I've going on all of JDST. I think I've done this about 3 times so far, so this is going to be my third position actually. So 100%. That's usually how I follow. 100% position is what I have ready to sell just in case a sell-off happens. And yeah, we'll see how much we're up right now. So we're up about $12 on the open, and a little bit over 1,200. Yeah, so new look on TOS, looks blue. That's just the settings. I made this video maybe like 2-3 days ago, talking about, or 1 day ago, the best, my favorite themes about TD Ameritrade. So if you're free to check that out, it's a 6-minute video and it shows you the different themes that TOS has to offer and stuff like that. So yeah. Here we go. So just locked in 2.5% on DGAS. Super happy to hear that. I want to check where my average price is. It's 81.61. The volatility has been so high as of right now when it comes down to, wow, DGAS just broke above $21. Congrats to all those invested in DGAS. Starting to show signs of an uptrend in between the middle and top VWAP. So yeah, a really nice pattern on this one. Overall pre-market highs is around 21.32. So here we go. So I did miss quite a bit of the like solid pushes up yesterday. I was in at an average of like 77.96 if I'm not mistaken. And just due to the push that it experienced today, I was pretty happy with that. As soon as it opened, I locked in profits. I think it was right below $80. And it continued to show signs of an uptrend. I started going in and out, and I'll talk about my positions. I really missed out on solid pushes. I think I missed out on $1 total, so kind of unfortunate on that end, but altogether, I can't be upset with how much it is that I'm up and how the swing trade ended up turning out. So definitely not upset with that. As of right now, what I'm looking for is I'm not liking the MACD indicator. The MACD indicator is not in my favor, showing signs of a descending pattern. The volume is also pulling back a little bit. If we look at forward/GC, it's not following exactly, but it's showing signs of it trending right now as of now below the middle VWAP. So we want to make sure that we keep it at that. So I'm going to set an alert if it ends up breaking above. Just so I can kind of react quickly. So right now we're just receiving some consolidation, not no buy signal, sell signal, or anything like that of that sort. RSI is a little bit more on the overbought side. So again, that's definitely something that I want to make sure we take into consideration. Can you guys see my screen? Is it on yet? Yeah, like I hope that you guys. I hope I haven't been talking to myself this entire time. Okay. All right, here we go. Looks like we might start seeing a little bit more of a rally. Just bid at 60, ask at 68. Again, bud, if you don't hear anything, just refresh your window and come back. Sounds good, Don. I wouldn't expect anything less. Wow, really solid pattern right here. 21.30, a little bit more on the overextended side. So I would lock in profits around this general area. Let's make sure that we focus on that. Okay. Whoa. There we go. DGAS back up at almost highs of day at 21.36. It's approaching that sell territory. Up to you on how it is that you want to treat that. Just want to make sure that you guys understand that it's a little bit more on the overbought side than oversold. So just a friendly reminder, but you guys do you. You guys can see the MACD indicator, the RSI, all showing signs of a potential peak formation and stuff like that. So that's all pretty exciting. Okay, so we're seeing a couple stocks pulling back in just a bit. There's a lot of consolidation that's going on right now. I can definitely try to hold, or I can definitely follow with a stop loss. So let's go ahead and see. I'm up a total of 36 cents on this specific position. So yeah, let's. Okay, Facebook showing signs of a nice little push up. Opened at 173. It's up about 1.14%. I wouldn't care too much about how much it is that it's up. Obviously, it's a higher cap stock, so that's going to be a little bit less attractive. But I really like that it's trending between the middle and top view up, especially the EMA line and the top view up. Again, we all know how to trade that from the bottoms and the tops and stuff like that. So I would focus a little bit more on that, making sure that we get in for a good deal and exit for a good exit as well. So that would be my core focus. Yeah, I still have my Fidelity account position on Facebook, so that one's definitely still a swing trade. Okay, here we go. We're picking up. Nice little push up. So slight little resistance at 82. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's just a lot of consolidation. I'm going to exit my position just because of it's definitely not a good deal as of right now, right? It's definitely still showing signs of consolidation. It can 100% continue to push up. I'm just becoming a little bit less comfortable with my overall position. So what I'm going to end up doing is just locking in profits and then moving away from here. So let's see if we can get a nice little push up, and if not, then we'll go ahead and send it. So yeah, I'm just gonna. Okay, so I got filled at 80, and we closed a little bit over 1200. So wow, and right before the pullback. So that was pretty exciting. I should have sold a little bit closer to $82, but I'll set my alert here just as a friendly reminder. I'll also set my alert here for the break below the middle VWAP. So again, a little bit more of a confirmation. So we'll move away from that, and I just have to understand, like right now it would be, yeah, and look, forward slash GC just broke above its middle VWAP, so that means that JNEX should start showing signs of a potential reversal. I personally don't want to invest in something that's descending. If I find it to be attractive enough or the risk to be high enough, then that's an option. But as of right now, I'm just gonna move on from there. Do you guys understand? Like this is, and I don't know if you guys have ever been in this position, but this is the most difficult part for me. And this is the most difficult part for me, not years ago, not a couple months ago. This is the most difficult part for me, like right now. When I am up, when I'm trading something that's actively trending up, I have a difficult time stepping away from my computer when I know that it's becoming more overbought. How many of you guys have ever experienced that? And this is, I want to share it with you guys because now I know that that's been one of the biggest mistakes that I've made the past couple of months is I almost overtrade and try to force and maximize. So I don't try to maximize profits, but I almost try to maximize my overall entries and exits to try to scalp it as much as possible. And that's not something that's very attractive. It hasn't worked well for me, and it's something that I've been able to observe and understand. So with that being said, I think one of the best things that I can do is maybe step away. So I don't like how overbought JDST is. I did an amazing job. So this is what I'm trying to like justify. I did an amazing job taking advantage of JDST. I had an amazing day today, right? Now I can continue to try to maximize every single dollar moving on forward when I know that JDST is overbought, so the risk is that much higher because it has that much more of a risk to pull back. So is it worth it to also give back potentially some of the profits that I made? I'm in the mindset of just making money as of right now and staying green, that it's going to also be a little bit more difficult for me to cut losses right away because I'm going to be so in shock. And it happens to me all the time. So what I'm going to do is just I'm going to take a step back, and I see that JDST is not a good deal, right? It's selling off right now. So let's do this. As of right now, we got JNEX starting to show signs of an uptrend. And it doesn't mean that I have to take a position as of right now. But one thing that I can try to do is take a small position, or smaller. And even then I might not even want to. It's a descending pattern as of right now. It's barely pushing above the middle VWAP. The thing that I really like about it is that we got JDST starting to really show signs of a pullback, which I find to be very attractive for the reversal, which is obviously JNUG, and the margin of profit that it has to cover. There's no question that this is quite a bit of margin that it has to cover. So. Yeah, well, that's what we're talking about. So, am I going to buy the mirror as JDST pulls back? I mean, if the pattern is there, what I'm going to do is, because I know the pattern is descending, I'm probably, if I end up taking a position, gonna really watch, my position size. So just like you guys saw right now, my overall position size as of right now isn't the highest. And I think that's something that I can do to manage my risk and still not feel like I'm missing out and stuff like that. So. Let's see if we get a bounce right here for JDST. If we do, then obviously I don't want to get into JNUG. Why would there be a bounce? Can you guys all do this for me? Why would there be a bounce here on JDST for me? So as JDST is overextended and it's pulling back, why could it potentially bounce here and continue to rally? Can you guys... So EMA would be a potential indicator that it would bounce at, but it broke below the EMA line. So that's not really the one that I'm looking at. Middle VWAP. There we go. So easiest way to put it, right? So it looks like we got a nice little bounce, started to show signs of an uptrend now. And again, why is it that it consolidated here? This is around that middle VWAP indicator where it's starting to show signs of a potential reversal. Watch this. If we start seeing this thing start make lower highs, as in like it's almost showing signs of a descending pattern, that's definitely something that we're going to find very attractive. This is actually not a bad bounce that it just had, a little bit under 1%, but that's pretty nice to see. But again, oh my goodness, GDS. Me and Matt have been going back and forth because me and Matt were trading GDS, or Matt and I were trading GDS. when it was at $31, $32, and now it's at $36. And every single day, as this thing has been pushing up, look, it's been trading in between the middle and top VWAP, right? It's been reacting really nicely to that EMA indicator. It's just been so beautiful, and we've been missing out every single day. But yeah, I think we're doing fine. It's just funny to see. So as of right now, JDST again making higher lows, right? Or lower highs, yeah. Here we go. Let's check out that MACD. Let's see what happens here. I really want to break below that $81 support and continue to downtrend, and then that would be in favor. And you have to think, like, look right now where JNEG is at, and the margin that it has to cover and stuff like that. Like, it's not huge. So I could see this thing pulling back down to that middle VWAP at least, and that would mean that JNEG itself would have the potential to push back up to its middle VWAP. So the margin isn't huge here, either. It should be about 0.5% and stuff like that. So also MACD indicator, peak out formation. Also with this momentum, it's going to be a little bit different to go based off of the MACD. Here we go. I might just take a swing trade position on GDS. Watch out with the resistance at 37.40. GDS has been showing signs of a setting uptrend pattern. Again, really nice pattern. We talked about this one when it was down here on that $30 price point, confirming this reversal. It's been one that we brought up in our Sunday stock talk. It's been one that's been on my active watch list, all that stuff. Can you please show your settings? What do you mean? Show my settings of what? Everything's like default settings except for my EMA line and my SMA line. Yep. Yes, sir. I feel like I say that about everything done. I always miss out on huge plays. So, all right. Look how consistent this thing has been. It's been really nice to be able to see the, transition and stuff like that. So congrats to all those. I'm really happy to hear that a lot of our members were able to do very well with this. So Dropbox had a nice little pop today. Had a nice little pullback yesterday. So it looks like it's having a nice little pop. Still not confirming an ongoing uptrend. So I'd lock in profits whenever it is that you get the chance. Diaz, again, kind of consolidating. I'm guessing that it pulled back a little bit. Trying to hold above that EMA line. I think that it has the potential to pull right back down. Again, understanding the good buy ranges and the good sell ranges. Do you guys know where we stand right now with the price point and where it's at? So is this like a good? I mean, this can be a good potential buy if DGAS continues to rally. But look at the MACD. Look at the RSI, and there we go. Just got the confirmation, almost showing signs of a peak formation, just like we did last time, and stuff like that. So. All right. So the natural gas report is today. Yep, it's in about 30 minutes. Where can I see my alerts after it happens? So Todd, if you can go here to messages and scroll all the way down, all these alerts will be right here. That's actually really, really funny. So know the difference between a good sell and when something is on clearance. So clearance is on the shelf because no one wants it. That's actually, I think, really clever. There we go. So JNEG just pushed up. You see, Don, now you distracted me. Freaking crud. I almost said a bad word. My goodness. All right. Here we go. All right. All right, so I have a little bit over $11,000 position, so about 33% of what my normal position is. And yeah. Is someone really asking what brokerage I'm using? Andrew, that's like one of the first things that I cover in the course. So I don't know if, yeah, I'm gonna need you, Andrew, if you can direct message me. I want to make sure that, yeah, like that's kind of upsetting because that's one of the first things that I cover absolutely in the course. It's one of the most like obvious things. Okay. Dropbox, again, really nice consistent pattern in between the EMA line and the top view up. So being able to identify the low points, the high points, it offers like 1% margins as this thing scalps up. So great call on that. Looks like due to earnings, looks like they were positive, still showing signs of an uptrend in between the middle and top view up. So that's great for Baba. Also, it's very oversold, so it makes sense on why this thing can continue to push up. Wow, what's up 4% on the day? It's actually a little bit overextended. I would be a little bit more patient for that pullback and stuff like that. So 7 alert here for the break above that. Alert here. So we got JDST showing signs of a potential downward pattern. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm going to set one for both the top and the bottom as we want to make sure that we're aware of what can or cannot happen. There we go. We might be getting a bounce just based on these patterns. Looks like it might be descending. So are you still in GDS? No, I was in GDS last week if I'm not mistaken. I did not trade it at all this week. So congrats to all those that are. We're approaching that resistance at $36, so I would watch out for the break above that. And yeah. MU margin isn't enough. 180-day analysis. Watch out for this resistance right around $50. We might see this pullback just like we said. So I'd wait out for this below, above. So it's almost reaching. Do you guys see this? This is, I think, perfect. I know that I'm not going to trade this at all, but look at this pattern. So I saw value, like many other people saw value in the bounce on MU, right? Started showing signs of an uptrend. SMA line is pointing down. Where's the resistance going to be? Potential resistance around $50, as that was an old support, becomes new resistance level. Look at this RSI and look at this MACD. Isn't that a perfect indication of why it was a sell at $50? Peaking out and peaking out. right? And descending SMA with obvious old support becomes new resistance. I'm just sharing that with you guys, so anytime that you guys see a very similar pattern, you guys know kind of how to reference it. So I'm going to be removing this one as it's no longer actively trending up, and then adding it to my pending reversal watch list. And again, it helps me stay a little bit more organized and focusing on stocks that are showing signs of an uptrend rather than are pulling back. So congrats to all those that were able to make a killing off of it. Now it's time to focus on what's actively trending up. So we got a nice little pullback on DGAS, which makes sense. Again, there we go. Understanding the good buy territories, good sell territories. I think that's very important. I'm going to put an alert pretty close to the SMA line. I don't know if we're going to actually approach the SMA line. It looks like the MACDs are already, peaking out. So I don't know if it's going to continue to sell off even more. We might get a bounce off the middle VWAP, but I'm just, again, going based off of old patterns because that's all I could really go based off of to try to justify where's a good entry and where's a good exit. So do you buy before the or after the report? So I don't, sometimes I don't even really trade it. There's been very few times where I've held, I think only one time in a live stream that I held during a report and it performed the way that we expected. Last week it performed the way that we expected it as well. So again, we can go to the 10-day chart and see last Thursday, right, and that push that it had up that drove DGAS up. Again, DGAS is very oversold. I don't think it's very difficult for something to drive the price up on DGAS just due to the volatility. So zooming in a little bit more, going back even the Thursday prior to that, looks like we got again a push up and then it sold off. So a nice little push up and sold off, and it looks like we're starting to rally again. It looks like every time as it approaches that natural gas report, it shoots up, and then pulls back after, and it looks like it's trending up right now. So we might see a nice little push up. Again, there's a huge form of risk in trading something when there's like a report, because it could either drive the price up or down. So just something that you might want to take into consideration. All right. So yeah, there's all right. So you guys are talking about RTRX in between middle top VWAP. Nice. Showing signs of an uptrend, ongoing uptrend, definitely. I just find it to be a little bit more on the overbought side, so not so much of a good deal. It could definitely continue to push up, but just based on previous patterns and its characteristic, it normally pushes up for a little bit and then pulls back quite a bit. So I would just be on high alert for potential pullback as it continues to make higher highs. And the MACD indicator, if I'm not mistaken, tends to be a decent indicator to identify kind of these pullbacks and stuff like that. So that's just something that I would consider as we're kind of flatlining right here. So just want to make sure that I play it safe and I present it like that for each and every single one of you. So is it crucial for a beginner trader to have level 2? No, I mean, is it crucial to have like the EMA indicator? Like, I'm sure it's not. It just makes it that much more, I think, in my eyes, efficient to be able to have a better understanding of where to enter and where to exit. But kind of like how I traded JDST today due to market volatility, sometimes I just buy at market order because of how difficult it is to get filled as this thing is pushing up. So yeah. Yeah, 100% Daniel. I've been there. I was there on Tuesday. Well, I didn't end up in the red, but I think I ended up with like $57 or something like that at the end of the day, where I could have had $1,000 day, and I could 100% see how that's very upsetting. And just to showcase like how I've learned from it is today all I did was try to lock in profits at any sign of a resistance and then walk away, right? That's definitely something, I think, an area of opportunity for a lot of new traders, and even people that have been doing it for a while, that once we get a little bit more comfortable with what we're doing, we can just focus a little bit more on just consistently staying green and trusting ourselves in the indication of something being able to be a little bit more on the oversold side or overbought side and locking in profits. So Sweet. Super happy to hear that. Congrats. 10%. My goodness, that's huge. I actually don't like, and this is something that I should have done a little bit better. That we're not getting a push up anymore for JNUG. Do you guys see this? So it had a really consistent pattern of this thing like pushing up, selling off, pushing up, selling off, and we're not getting that anymore. With JDST, we're starting to consolidate here a little bit more around the middle VWAP, which means that I'm not too sure if it's going to continue to sell off, and there it goes, it pushes up again, and there's a drive up. So one thing that I'm going to consider, and there it goes, there's the sell off, and here could be the potential. I'm gonna try to give it. So right now we got a push up. I'm going to wait for a pullback and then exit my JNUG position as it continues to try to recover. So we're getting a potential buy signal on JDST. I just don't want to be on the wrong side of the ETF. So Sun is saying locked in 2.75% today. Super happy to hear that. Yeah, it's actually picking up much quicker than I expected. So, oh, there it goes. Yeah, so is my sound on? Yeah, I could 100%. I don't know if, yeah, so I could hear everything. It's coming out of my little microphone, so it's a little bit slow. Oh, there it goes. JDST just broke above $82, and is it going to rally? Again, I just wanted to give it a little bit more time for it to consolidate. If I see this thing push, let's see. There we go. Pull back. Yeah, so the natural gas reports, we still have about, what's it called? 15 minutes until they come out. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be waiting for on my side. And then I'll close out the live stream. So, yeah, Julie, I'll go ahead and break down. I think I did see it a little bit earlier. So, and then will JNUG eventually recover, being an ETF? I don't, yeah. I personally do think that JNUG eventually will recover. I'm not saying like today or this week or this month by any means, but it's definitely very oversold, and it makes sense on why it would be a matter of time for then it to recover. So can you show on TOS? Jimmy, can I show what on TOS? Here we go. Ah, Jimmy, I don't know what you're asking for. Here we go. Boom, there it goes. Can we get a little bit more of a sell-off? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that it would make the stock explode, but you just have to think it's a catalyst for either um, for investors, right? So that's just something that I would take into consideration for dividend fill-in. Okay, so one thing that I like that's going on right now is that not only did we hit a resistance, so it's also making lower highs, but the MACD indicator is starting to curve back down, the RSI is starting to point back down, and it doesn't mean that it's going to pull back all the way, right? It just means that it's struggling to make higher highs. We're approaching a resistance at $82, and then also taking into like. So I appreciate this of like JNUG consistently. So as a reminder that JNUG has consistently pushed up midday. I think it's a hold for the day. I could definitely see how it is that you would see that and stuff like that. The thing about JNUG is do I really want to hold it all day for the hope that it pushes up and stuff like that? Like that's just something that like I don't know if I could justify. Did JDST just push up or something? Why is it? That's weird. But yeah, I do see like it pulling back right now, and I'll probably just close out my position on JNUG as I probably it wasn't the best entry regardless. So I'm gonna hold off on that just a little bit and then see kind of what happens. But I can definitely see this thing pulling back. It looks like it's trying to hold above that EMA line. We might get a bounce, we might not. So um, it's not breaking its support at 81.50 just yet. And we still got 10 minutes till the market open. So I try to look at the like the shape of the candles. I can tell something when the candles look something like this, how it kind of does in pre-market or extended hours. Obviously, the volume looks like this because there's not as many buyers, right? There's not as much demand during extended hours because not everyone does it. Same thing goes when stock is trading. If I see that the overall volatility is kind of all over the place, then that's not something that I find very attractive, right? So it just has to do with me taking into consideration like my average position size and do I really want to trade something where its volatility was pretty low. I think a perfect example would be like ticker symbol SAM. I love the pattern that ticker symbol SAM had to offer. We called this one out when it was at 280 and it just pushed up to over 300, right? It's been doing an amazing job showing signs of an uptrend, but I would not invest, $30,000-$40,000 into SAM just due to the volume that it has. It's just too low in my opinion, right? It doesn't mean that I can't have maybe a couple $1,000s invested at a much smaller rate. So yeah, I mean that's I would really become more familiar with the overall look of the candles, and also not just the looks, but you guys can hover over it and be able to see, what it normally trades at, what it's trading at now, and just, just try. I mean, many of you guys have already taken multiple positions. Just try to go back and see what the volume is on those specific tickers, and to see, if maybe it's worth investing in that based on like the characteristics that might be similar and stuff like that. So Julie, my apologies. Okay, so ticker symbol acts with an aggressive sell-off trading between the middle and bottom VWAP. It's showing signs of a potential peak formation. Do you see the MACD, how it's still pointing down? No signs of recovery there. The RSI still pointing down. EMA line showing signs of a peak formation. I would set my alerts and then kind of hold off on this. I don't see this to be a good buy as of right now, just due to the direction in which it's heading. So I see, that it did try to recover. But due to the resistance that it has here around $32, that was an old support, so it makes sense on why that's a new resistance. So I think after a matter of time, it definitely can recover. I just don't know if it's there right now. MCH, all right. P, okay. Okay, MCHP definitely showing signs of a potential reversal. I find it to be a little bit not overbought, just the MACD is a little bit more overextended. So is the RSI, but I definitely like that uptrend pattern. I would like to wait a little bit more for that pullback confirmation. It did it last time where it pushed up, pulled back, consolidated, and then pushed right back up. That's something that I find very attractive. So yeah, I really like the pattern on that, and I'm just gonna set an alert for the pullback. I actually really like this one. So it's actively trending up, so it makes sense on why we could add this one to our active uptrend watch list, right? Okay. This thing pulling right back down. Wow. Yeah, I'm just exiting. And this could be at the very bottom in which I sold. I could have done a better job exiting at around the 77, 78 when I was trying to show signs of recovery, but I just don't want to write it down anymore. It looks like it, JDST is really starting to pick up some momentum, and there it goes. So I think I did fine with that. This thing should drop a little bit more. But yeah, definitely not my best trade. So yeah, I mean, again, you never want to rely solely on one indicator. So I think that's a pretty good example. Pretty good example where, I mean, looking at the overall pattern for something like MCHP, it's not anything that pushes up usually very aggressively. You could see the time that it did push up aggressively, the RSI was overextended. There's a lot of momentum potentially on when it pushes up, and then it recovers a little bit, right? The overall idea is that it's oversold, and that you should just take that into consideration. I wouldn't focus too much on it. So yeah, it's definitely showing signs of an uptrend. The volume, the demand is there, and I think that's why it can continue to trend up. So the RSI, again, it's just an indicator telling you when it's a little bit more on the overbought side. It doesn't mean that people still won't continue to buy. So that's just something that I think we all have to take into consideration. Really nice push up on JDST. So okay, here's the pullback. I don't know. I already sold JNEG. Nice little bounce off that middle VWAP. Nice, nice. Let's try to see this. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. No. Okay, so it looks like it had a nice little push up. There we go. Shall I get filled? Filled. 3 more minutes. I'm gonna grab some water real quick, team. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Ricky, you gotta get more than 4 hours of sleep overnight, man. Yeah, I know. I've been really tired lately, but I think we're good though. We're pumped. Oh, are you freaking kidding me? Did JDST just? Oh, it pulled back. Okay, so it hit a resistance at around $83. Okay. All right, 2 minutes. Okay. You got 1 minute and 10 seconds left. When did Ricky get in on DGAS? LOL. If you're asking about my average price, it's 21.50. I had a limit order. PayPal, just okay. PayPal showing signs of potential recovery. Nice little push up. It's approaching that resistance right around 88.30 that it had last time. So I think it's more at a sell. So congrats to all those that were able to trade it successfully. Here we go. And again, please make sure that you guys understand that just because I took a position in no way by any means doesn't mean that it's going to be in my favor. I could be completely wrong and it could shoot down 2%, 3% like it normally does. I need you guys all to know that. So good luck with your trade. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I was wrong. There it goes. Had a pretty aggressive sell-off. Back at support. Oh. Here we go. And again, DGAS is so what's it called? Oversold that just kind of like we saw yesterday. I don't know if you guys were, who traded /CL yesterday? Did any of you guys trade that /CL? All right, all right. I knew I should have sold the Ricky on him. 100%. Best indication. Best indicator. They call it the Ricky indicator. When I buy, everyone sell. Let's sell it off a little bit more. Approaching this range of lows, right? All right, team. And there's the shoot up. Again, last time we got rejected right around this general area for natural gas itself. So I think once that hype of the news ends up dying out, which should be in a couple minutes or an hour, we should start seeing a push right back down. So I think we saw this with /CL yesterday. If we go a little bit further back, and that nice little push that it had, where was it? Was this 2-day, 5-minute? I think it was during this time right here. That's when it had that nice little sell off, and then it had a nice little recovery, and it continued its day and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna move on with my day. No, so do I think that this is the first day of the drip reversal? No, not at all. Yesterday, /CL, I had a really good day, so it makes sense on why it would pull back. So I'm not too worried. I would be much more patient with that myself before thinking that it's going to be a reversal. Alrighty, guys. So I'll keep you guys up to date with the position that I end up having on DGAS. And yeah, I mean, that's really just it. So if you guys have any questions, there we go. Wow. I pushed up. All right, we're good, guys. We killed it today. We kept it pretty simple. I'm still holding my DGAS position. It does not mean that you have to. I think it's very oversold, and that's why I don't know if you guys saw that, but like I took a position right before the earnings report, and I took a 50% position of what I normally do. So the reason why is I wanted to get my foot in the door, but I also knew that the risk of a potential pullback. So it pulled back, and something that normally happens that the way that I trade it is even if it pulls back or I end up not even taking a position, when the one that sells off, I usually buy that one, and I ride it for the recovery. So that's kind of my thing. If it's something that you guys see value in, you guys want to test it out with paper trading, all power to you. Let me know how it turns out for you. But yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date with my position. Hope you guys have an amazing day. So, are you still holding JNUG? No, I sold it. I don't know if you guys are like watching like what I'm trading, how you guys don't see me like I talk about like me selling the positions, locking in profits and all that stuff. I just don't get it. So yeah, I sold JNUG a while ago. So we're all good there. Thank you guys again for your time. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.